What is going on, everybody? Tonight, we're having ourselves quite the night. We're doing a start-sit stream for Week 10 fantasy football. Absolutely insane. And I just got to say, I've been laughing over here as the clock has been counting down, looking at freaking Gerger just coming in and absolutely bombing the chat. Like, here, we're going to, like, for all of you guys that want your questions answered, like, just give Gerger the hardest time because this is crazy. Dude just dropped every stinking question from his notes app and just absolutely dropped it down. So if you guys want, I'm just kidding. We're gonna answer all of his questions one at a time. Good to see so many people in here like Squid, like Element. Alex said, guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with me tonight. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna answer all your start state questions. We're gonna vibe to some of Element's music and absolutely get into it. And just so everyone's aware, we're starting this music now, but with the way that it pulls into the stream, it's not always right away, so I will get to everyone's questions, though. Shout out to Seawolves. Shout out, hey, good to see you, bro. Trix said, with Josh Jacobs on bye, should I play Mostert, Warren, Bigsby, or Jonathan Brooks? Thanks, Trix. Appreciate you tuning in. We will be going here. I'll be going with Tank Bigsby as my option, Trix. I don't feel confident starting Jonathan Brooks on his first week off of bye. Or not off of bye, off of IR, so I will be going with Bigsby, having my highest in my overall rankings. Squid said, went from 0-4 to 5-4. Squid, that's what we love to see, bro. That's absolutely what we love to see. Keep that up, bro. Keep grinding that. Trick said, hey, appreciate it, bro. It's going good. Going good. Getting to hang out with all of you. And Squid's making a comeback. So you said, barely put off the win in overtime of the Chiefs versus Bucs game. Squid, we love to see it. We love to see it. And like I said, guys, sometimes these questions don't come in until the stream uploads, and so we're going to get to all of these questions. The Miami said 3 wide receivers, including DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Okay, so you said, so do we sell high on Rome Odunze with that Bears offense? He had the highest targets on the team coming out the bye week, but still don't know if we can trust the Bears offense. The Miami Cowboy, it's a great question. The first thing that I'll say is I have my rest of season rankings coming out with Rome Odunze. I feel like Rome Odunze, he's a high-level, rookie-level wide receiver. Of course, we assumed that DJ Moore was going to be the clear alpha, but with things moving and grooving, I do think we have to start to really consider where Rome Odunze could be headed rest of the season. So I'm with you. I don't necessarily love to put my faith and trust into Caleb Williams, but I will be putting some faith into Rome Odunze. I started him last week, and there's a chance that, especially with if you have some buys, if you have some injuries, you got to feel good about potentially starting some Rome Odunze. And if you guys are just tuning in, hit that like button. We got 17 people in here and only 6 likes. Helps me out so much. And oh my goodness, we get to all of Gerger's comments, but Gerger, your comments came in not in the right order, so I will just answer them as much as I can. You said, I know some of these wide receivers are badly injured, but choose 3: Drake London, Devontae Smith, Devontae Adams, Keon Coleman, DJ Moore, Xavier Legette, Michael Pittman. Gerger, I will be going with Drake London, Devontae Smith, Devontae Adams, have them highest up in my rankings. And then you said, sit 2: Kareem Hunt, Jahmyr Gibbs, Tyrone Tracy, Chase Brown. I will be personally sitting Tracy and Chase Brown. As crazy as that is, Gerger, I'm sure you're like, what? But you got some really great running backs there. I have Jahmyr Gibbs as a top 8 running back this week. And then I have Kareem Hunt ahead of Tracy and Chase Brown as my RB15. But, Gerger, just so you're aware, I literally have all those guys one spot apart. RB15, RB16, and RB17. So, if you have a preference there on Kareem Hunt, Tyrone Tracy, Chase Brown, feel free. And then Gerger said, I'm using to the chat popping already, but let's go. Yeah, the chat was bumping tonight. The chat was bumping. So like I said, we're answering everybody's start state questions, but appreciate you guys for tuning in. And you know what's crazy? I've actually seen this. There's been a ton of people that have, like, I got some comments like, oh, like, I'm done with my fantasy football season. It's like, if your team really is really bad, sure, you're probably not still tuning in. But like for those of us, like we're on the fringe, like we're going for the chip right now. It's game time. Then you said Drake London's injury cost me my last. Now I'm down 5-4, tied for 3rd with 4 other guys. Gerger, we're gonna get you back up. We're gonna get you back up. Injuries suck. We can't really predict that. And then you said you do have Matt Stafford or Corey, but am I crazy for thinking Daniel Jones or Justin Herbert might have a better game this week? If we pull up our QB rankings, we do have Matthew Stafford as our QB8. So I feel pretty confident starting Matthew Stafford. In regards to Daniel Jones or Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones I have as my QB15, and I have Herbert as my QB19. So I'm still going with Matty Boy Stafford there. Gerger, and then you said you were early, and you're dropping all these questions. Like I said, guys, everyone's probably just waiting. We're gonna get to all these questions that are coming in. Absolutely get into all of these. Gerger's next question is, any word from Nico Collins is coming back this week? He may potentially save my season. I do think potentially he's coming back this week. Reports are saying like pretty positive things there, Gerger, for him. Caleb saved me. Oh my goodness, you've been waiting for the stream since Sunday. Who do we think is a better tight end stream this week? Gesicki or Taysom Hill? I will be going with Taysom Hill this week, but it's close in my rankings this week, Gerger. Hey, comeback player of the tears over here. Element said, hey, this stream, thanks for this. Yes, of course. Here to answer all questions. Shout out to you, Element. Thanks for the music as well. Squid said, traded Olave for Kelsey right before Olave got his first injury. Now Kelsey's been popping off. Squid, that's what we love to see. Let's give you a little bit of DJ air horn here. Yeah, that was a poll. That's a poll. We got Trix said, also, my only QB option is Mahomes. We play one QB league, but the best waiver option is Drake May. Love him by. We feel better about playing Mahomes. I will be playing Mahomes this week, Trix. I think the DeAndre Hopkins ad makes me feel a lot better about Mahomes. And the way that he's been balling with all of his other players, we do have to feel pretty good about it. So I'd be going with Mahomes there. Tricks. Element said, Churcher got every single question before. No kidding. Copy and paste it from the notes. He's just been waiting all day. He's been, I don't know if he was doing that work or whatever, but he was typing them all out. He was ready. Jeff, good to see you, man. You said, should I pick up Quentin Johnson or Calvin Ridley off waivers? Jeff, I personally go with Calvin Ridley off waivers. I understand some of the thought process behind maybe looking at a guy like a Quentin Johnson, but I personally want the Calvin Ridley side there, especially with no D-Hop rest of the season. But the quarterback play is pretty atrocious for the Titans. So I understand why you might want to look at Quentin Johnson, but I have Calvin Ridley higher rest of the season. Save some questions for the others. we should put him on like a timeout. I'm just kidding, Gerger. I'm just kidding. He's telling people to get here. I love it. Elements 2-0 in NBA fantasy. Like I said, I don't play NBA fantasy. I did for a lot of years, but man, it's a lot of work, especially when you're like in football season. Like the beginning of the fantasy NBA thing, I'm like, I can't do both. Shout out to you, Unruly Drip. Thanks for being here. It's very complex, and it's there's a lot of strategy involved there for sure. Squid said, I can't even figure out how 1 week of fantasy basketball. It's crazy. You gotta if you do it on Yahoo, you can actually optimize your lineups, but that's the only way you're gonna be able to do it. Jeff said, did I make a big mistake trading D-Hop for Brian Thomas Jr.? Jeff, TBD. I'm putting out my rest of season rankings tomorrow though, and I have Brian Thomas still higher rest of the season. Now, DeAndre Hopkins looked like prime Randy Moss with Tom Brady. So I'm not over here going to be saying it's a terrible deal. I personally want the Brian Thomas side. So if I was you, I think he made a great trade, but D-Hop could potentially be someone that we're a little bit worried about continuing to go up. And if it makes you feel any better there, Jeff, I ended up dropping DeAndre Hopkins in a super shallow league for Lad McConkey, and I've been regretting it this whole last week like a freaking idiot. Trick said, I'm sitting 6-3 tied for second with Lamb, AJ Brown, and Tyreek in the flex. I feel my team should be doing better. Yeah, it should be doing better, but we've talked the AJ Brown injury is definitely hurting you. The Lamb and Tyreek kind of being up and down has hurt you, but I think going forward, hopefully things start to turn around for your overall team, Tricks. BTJ is a free agent. What? Element, bro. Go. I have BTJ super high up. I don't know if you're in a 4-team league there, but I have Brian Thomas Jr. as my wide receiver 14, so he definitely should be rostered in a 6 or 8-man league there, Element. Jacob said, trade Hawkinson, Waddle, and Mostert for Evans and Conklin. I'm in a 14-team, 7-2 tied for first. My wide receivers are Brown, McLaurin, Odunze, McMillan. Tight end is Laporta, or should I try to switch Hawk for Laporta? So Jacob, I would do this deal in a 14-team. I'll wait on Mike Evans to come out. The question that I'm going to ask you is, which of these tight ends do you prefer more? I have both of them in the same tier, rest of the season. So if you prefer Laporta, I would trade Laporta. Or if you prefer Laporta, I'd keep Laporta. If you prefer Hawkinson, I would keep Hawkinson. I literally have them one spot apart in my rest of the season rankings. So whichever way you want to lean there, Jacob, I'm cool with it. But I would take the deal, and I would do for the Evans and Conklin for sure. Appreciate you, Jacob. Gabriel, good to see you. You said, what's up? I have CMC on IR. Is it time to start him? We'll have to see. If he plays, you're starting him. I mean, there's no other. We've waited so long. I don't care if he's on a snap count. I don't care if CMC is getting only 50% of the snaps. That's going to be enough for CMC to be probably a high-end RB2, if not low-end RB1 for you. So it's about to be CMC time. I hope, like I said, the worry, Gabriel, is that he's going to go out there. I've been having him on my IR in a few of the spots, and all of a sudden he's going to get hurt again. That's going to be absolutely trash, but I do feel really good, Gabriel, about CMC this week. Element said, CMC, Kittle, or Chase Brown in the... You mean in the flex? We'll go with CMC there, Element. So many plays. And Church said, also, Caleb, speaking of music, email. Oh, Gerger, what the heck? You sent me an email, bro? I didn't see that. What's your why did I miss it? I get a ton of emails though. What is it? Who? When did you email me? And what's your email from? Did you say? I don't think I got your email, bro. I'll have to go looking for it. But let me know what your email address starts with, and I'll go look for it. Squid said probably CMC in the chat. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing. Yeah, it's gotta be CMC there. Squid said pick 3 PPR: Kareem Hunt, Tyrone Tracy, Gesicki, Kelsey, Otten. If I have to pick 3, we will be going with Kelsey, Kareem Hunt, and we'll go with Tyrone Tracy. But Squid, K. Otten's been balling. We talk about him in my video tomorrow, rest of season rankings. Dude's 10 targets. 10 targets for K. Otten. Dude's balling. But I will be taking Tyrone Tracy, Kareem Hunt, and Kelsey there. Anthony says, I'm ready to give up on fantasy. I'm being dramatic. I know. Anthony, bro, listen, never give up. Never what? No, you can never give up on fantasy football. Now, can we change some stuff around? Anthony, this is why you need to get in multiple leagues, bro. We need to be in like 2 to 3 leagues. That way, if you have teams that suck, you hopefully have one that's a winner. So that's the advantage, but I know that could be a lot for some people. Georgia said, never give up, never surrender. Element said, mixing Kyron, CMC, or Chase Brown, pick 2. This week, I will be going with Kyron and Mixon. Element. As much as I want to tell you to start CMC on the first week back, I personally have Kyron and Mixon higher this week. So I would go with that. But the fact that we are benching CMC when he comes back is kind of nasty. So, but I'm glad that you have the depth there at running back. Just so you're aware, Element, we do have Kyron Williams as a top 5 running back this week. We have Joe Mixon as a top 10 running back. And I have CMC right now as my RB14 this week. Georgia said, at least ruin someone's playoff dreams before you give up. That is good. That is good. I do love that. Nicholas, appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to Baby Yoda. That's kind of funny. You said, in a 16-team league with multiple players on bye, should I start Guarando, Akers, or Khalil Herbert? I wouldn't feel confident starting Herbert this week, honestly, Nicholas. So I will be personally... I'll be looking at Guarando or Akers, but Guarando is going to be moving to the RB3 role. So I would start Akers. I think Akers probably gets the most volume there in a 16-team league for you. Nicholas, appreciate you tuning in. Anthony said, came in second last year and in the Super Bowl rematch in this past week is a must-win. Once again, Pittman lost me my matchup. Yeah, Pittman's been absolutely blowing cheeks. So I'm with you, Anthony. That's been bad. That's been bad, bro. Element said, you know what? My questions are too confusing. Let me name my whole team and you can make that decision. Wait, Element... Mixon. Well, you said pick 2. It's definitely Mixon or Kyron for sure. If you have to pick 2 out of those. Squid said Demario Douglas or Marvin Harrison Jr. this week. I don't know if I can watch Marvin Harrison Jr. in my lineup another week. Squid, listen, as the person that's the Marvin Harrison slash what do you want to call the Ohio State stan of the group, I just cannot rank so if we're being realistic. Marvin Harrison Jr. is not high for me this week. I have him as my wide receiver 26. Now, Pop Douglas, I don't know if there's someone else that loves to talk about Pop Douglas as much as I do, but I do have Pop Douglas as my wide receiver 40. So I have them almost, 14 spots apart if I could do math. So I personally lean with Marvin Harrison Jr. again, Squid, but I understand a little bit of your worry there. I understand, but I go with Marvin Harrison Jr. if I'm you. Dynasty is my life, says 0.5 tight end premium, 1 total, start 3, Ladd, Hopkins, Hawkinson, Brian Robinson, Mark Andrews. If I have to start 3 here, I will be starting Ladd. 0.5 tight end premium does get a little bit of a boost, but I'm still going with Brian Robinson, Ladd, and Hopkins. Their dynasty is my life. Lucas said, what do you think of Aaron Jones rest of season? That's a great question. We're putting out our rest of season rankings tomorrow, Lucas, so hopefully you tune into that, but I do have him as a top 14 RB. So high-end RB2. That's kind of where I have him. Have him behind Alvin Kamara, CMC, Jonathan Taylor. Scrippy, good to see you. You said tight end to start McBride this week or Gesicki with no T, that matchup. 55-point total. Based off who you would choose for tight end, who would you flex? Pollard, Gesicki, McBride, Bucky? Yeah, so personally for me, I would go with McBride this week as my tight end. And then who would I flex? I personally be going with Pollard. Pollard, I mean, the workload last week coming off of that injury, absolutely insane. So I do lean the Pollard side. Anthony said waivers are cooked, and so is my team. Anthony, bro. first off, I appreciate you always coming to the streams. Means the absolute world. Like I said, bro, if I can do anything for you to help you turn this thing around, you let me know. Element said, Mixon, Kyron, McLaurin, Puka, Otten, CMC, Chase Brown, Dell, Marvin Harrison Jr., pick flex, 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers. Yeah, so my 2 running backs, we will be picking Mixon and Kyron. 2 wide receivers, we will be picking Puka and McLaurin. And then in regards to a flex, we will then, yeah, in this circumstance here, Element, I will go with CMC in the flex. CMC over Chase Brown, Dell, Marvin Harrison Jr., Kittle doesn't feel great. But that's the way that I lean. That's the way that I lean there, Element. Your team is wildly good. That's a great squad. And they said, I told my whole league that Brees is for sale and I've been getting low ball. Yeah. I think, like, you'll see in my video tomorrow, Anthony, I have Brees Hall. He went from a top 5 running back for me down to my RB 6 and 7. He is someone that I'm still trying to trade for. I know I've talked about him pretty consistently, but I do think I just think it's been disappointing for Brees Hall, to say the least. Perfect. And then we got Element said, I also have Tillman, but he's on bye. I gotcha. Anthony says, Nico better come back because Brooks came off it already. I think he's coming back this week. That's kind of my expectation for Nico Collins. That's kind of what I've been reading on the Twitter doctor. So we'll kind of have to see from there. Georgia said, okay, if Nico Collins comes back, I would play Nico and Drake London. Should I play Devontae Smith or Adams at flex? Yeah, if Nico Collins comes back, I will be playing Nico and Drake London, and then I would be playing Devontae Smith over Adams at the flex there, Georgia. Unruly says, need 2 running backs, PPR, Chase Brown, Najee, Mondre, Dowdle. I will be going with Chase Brown, and I will be going with Najee. Unruly Drip, we'll go through the running back rankings and just kind of give you where these guys are at. So if you're looking at Chase Brown, I do have Chase Brown as my RB16 this week. I do have Najee Harris as my RB24. I do have Ramondre is sitting as my, so it might RB25 for Ramondre, so it could be close between Najee and Ramondre for you there in Really Drip, but personally I do go with the Najee Harris side there. Frizz, appreciate you being here. You said, whoa, yo, what's up? PRF said, where do you have Jonathan Taylor ranked compared to Brian Thomas Jr.? Because I just got a trade. I give AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor for Nico Collins and Brian Robinson. So personally for me here, PRF, I will be going with the AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor side. That's the one that I want. I have AJ Brown and Nico Collins both in the same S tier rest of the season, but I do have Jonathan Taylor in a tier ahead of Brian Robinson rest of the season. So personally, I want the AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor side there, PRF. Seawolves said, standard pick 2 rest of season, Cousins, Murray, Wilson, Smith, T-Law, Nick, Stafford, Flack. Yeah, 2 rest of season. Personally, I want the Murray and Cousins side there, Seawolves, for my 2 rest of season. Element says, I can only do NBA fantasy because it's all night, so I got time in the day. I got you. Shout out to Eddie. He said, hey, bro, my wide receivers are all injured right now. T and Olave. Do I start JMO or Leggett this week? Well, Leggett's been balling. That's for sure. And I don't know. I didn't see who they're planning on playing for quarterback this week, but personally, I would go with Leggett over Jameson Williams. I have him 2 spots apart, though. Eddie, I would go with Leggett. Kyle said, this may be a dumb question. Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels this week? Okay, it's not the best matchup for Jaden Daniels versus Pittsburgh. I bumped him down my rankings here, Kyle, but I personally still would be going with the Konami code upside of Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams, because I have Caleb Williams sitting right now as my QB 19, QB 6 for Jaden Daniels. Kyle, what up? Oh my goodness, look at this. Kyle and Kyle back to back. So we will be going, we're going to go with Tyreek or Amon-Ra St. Brown rest of the season. I have these guys so close. Kyle, I personally go with Amon-Ra St. Brown the rest of the season over Tyreek. And then he said, Amon-Ra seems like the easy pick, but the Lions are so good they don't need, I feel it, but we haven't seen the Dolphins get the passing attack together. So I do lean that Amon-Ra St. Brown side. And then Georgia said, my email starts with, okay. Oh, it's just, okay. I'll double check. I'll just check. Squid said, bro, really emailing him his questions early, LOL. No, Squid, he's emailing me. We got, we don't got any of them. We got, I guess the music is transitioning, but we got some background music, and Gerger and Element make it. So they're helping me with some beats. Jacob said 14 team, 7-2, 0.5 PPR. Mahomes, Henry, Aaron Jones, Bigsby, Justice Hill, Spears, AJ Brown, McLaurin, Evans, Odunze, McMillan, Laporta, Conklin. How's the team looking to you? Any trade targets? Thanks. Yeah, team's looking good. I mean, the fact that you have Henry, you got Mahomes, you got AJ Brown, you got McLaurin, you got Evans, I like our wide receiver depth a ton. We got some decent running back depth in a 14 team. Feels good. Honestly, you're 7-2. This is the point where we could say, hey, what are some trade targets to do? Like, until you get a fully healthy team, because Evans and AJ Brown aren't being fully healthy, all the trades that we're going to be able to potentially do is just going to hurt this overall depth, Jacob. So personally for me, bro, this is not me taking the easy answer out. This is me just looking at your squad and saying, maybe we can make like a tier up from like a McMillan and a Dunze to get a better wide receiver if someone's super hurting for depth. But I do like kind of where we're sitting. So I personally would just kind of hold with you being 7-2. Champagne 7 said Mooney or Cooper rest of season. I will be going with Mooney rest of season over Amari Cooper. And then you said Jordan Love or CJ Stroud rest of season. Champagne, I will be going with Jordan Love rest of season. Element said, okay, so Kittle or Otton should be my final question. Final question of the night for Gerger, or not Gerger, Element, sorry. That is a valid question. I personally go with George Kittle. I have George Kittle as my tight end 2 this week, but I do have K. Otton as my tight end 4, so it is pretty close there. Champagne 7 said, do a Alexander Madison and Etienne have any fantasy football value going forward? I mean, they do, but like not like game breaking by any stretch. Like if we're looking at my rest of season rankings, and you'll see this tomorrow, I do have Travis Etienne sliding in like right around RB 32 range. Like he's in the same range as like a Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren. Like I would say like a premium handcuff type guy, but it's just so sad the fall from grace Travis Etienne's had. And then Alexander Madison is behind Travis Etienne for me, Champagne. They do have fantasy football value. I just don't know how confident you can feel starting them week in and week out. And then we got Champagne 7 says, do you prefer McConkey or Downs going forward? I prefer, well, I just did these rankings. So let me pull them up. I was super confident in who I was about to say. And then I was like, wait a second. Is that what my rankings say? Because I was like, I don't think I was going to lean that way, but I do go with Josh Downs rest of the season. I understand it's been an absolute crapshoot for this overall team, but you got to feel for the, I say overall team, but for the Indianapolis Colts. But that is the way that I would be looking to go. Let me know. Like I said, we are answering all start sit questions here tonight. So if you guys haven't already, hit that like button. It helps me out so much. You know, guys, it's crazy. We're almost like 100 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers. So I cannot thank you all enough for just all the love that you guys have been giving all the time. It means the absolute world. Next question we got is going to be from Justice Reborn. Shout out to Justice Reborn. She said, have Murray, but it's been a tough losing because of him. Need a consistent quarterback. Should I pick up Goff, Wilson, May, or Stafford rest of the season and drop Murray? Yeah, it has been super up and down with Kyler Murray. You're going to see tomorrow, though, that I have all those guys behind Kyler Murray. Like, I still have Kyler Murray higher rest of the season. So, Justice Reborn, I understand you might, like, the only one that I might potentially, like, debate is going to be Goff for Kyler Murray, but I like the upside of Kyler Murray. And I think really the big piece for Kyler Murray has been, I know he threw for 154 and 0 tutties in week 9. He just needs to get on the same page as Marvin Harrison Jr. because when we see him throw the ball deep, there are a lot of things that are very exciting with that rushing floor that he does have. I would go Jared Goff, though, if you're like dead set on dropping him. If sometimes all your team needs is a little bit morale boost there, Justice. So I understand you wanting to do that. I personally still have Kyler Murray ahead of Goff, but I know that is what it is. Champagne 7, should I trade for Nick Chubb, Rico Dowdle, or Tank Bigsby? I would trade for Tank Bigsby out of all 3 of those options there, Champagne. Squid said, pick 2, James Conner, Tyrone Tracy, Gesicki, or Otton. I will be going with James Conner and Tyrone Tracy there, Squid. We then got PRF said, I think the bust of the year was drafting Chris Olave mid to late second. I mean, you could maybe argue that. You could maybe argue Mark Andrews for a little bit was maybe the bust. I know he's kind of bounced back. Drafting tight end early maybe was the bust of the draft. If you drafted a Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid super early. I mean, you feel decent if you drafted Travis Kelce, if you drafted Trey McBride. But other than those options, not really great. I'm trying to think of other wide receivers. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Loki's kind of been a bust this year as well. So yeah, few different busts that have occurred. Dynasty is my life. Said 12 team, super flex, 0.5 tight end, premium start 9 and 8-0. You have 2 first, 1 top 5 and 1 mid late. Dynasty is my life, dude. Bro, we're going to be cooking some Dynasty content this offseason. I want you to know. You said Lamar, Goff, Baker, running backs, Hall, Bijan, Brian Robinson, Zamir, Reek, Ladd, Hopkins, DJ Moore, tight ends. And did you have a question? Or you said, start 9 and 8-1. What would you do? Would you move 2 first for London? Ooh, that's a juicy question. So you have 2 first, 1 top 5 and 1 mid late. Yeah, dude, I'm doing that for Drake London. I think we're looking at your team. Like, you need a young wide receiver, and as much as I would love to like bank on the prospect profiles for next year, like Tet McMillan is still a projection, and we're seeing Drake London starting to put up some very fabulous fantasy football numbers. So of course, like trading 2 first is not always great for like a wide receiver like a Drake London. I feel like maybe you're overpaying slightly. Dynasty Midlife, I think with your team, you got to feel really good about it, and giving you some more young wide receiver depth next to Reek, especially for the next year or two, makes me feel really great about it. And especially like you're not going to get any quarterback that could maybe help your quarterback room, and you're probably just going to be missing out on maybe a wide receiver and running back duo. But I do want to get you an elite level wide receiver there. Dynasty is my life. Champagne said Jacoby Myers, Tank Dell are downs for my flex every week. Every week? I mean, if we're talking like rest of season rankings here, I will be going with downs, but a lot of that does depend on matchup. So like if I'm looking at this week though, I will be going with, just double checking, I will be going with Josh Downs this week over Tank Dell. But I have them 3 spots apart, Champagne. Just so you know. We got Jesse B said, need to start one of these 3. Sam Laporta, Mike Gesicki, Hunter Henry. Jesse, you are one. Then we were talking about Sam Laporta absolutely destroying our lives. You are part of it. I'm going with Mike Gesicki here. Jesse, appreciate you tuning in. Anthony said, I'm going to get my questions ready. So get your questions in now. Anthony's about to start firing these away. Shane F said, trade Kamara for elite level wide receiver like Nico or JJ. Yes. If you can get that done 100%, go do that deal. Shane, think that'd be a major dub for you if you can get that done. Frizz said, Flowers and Smith might not cut it for me rest of the season. Who could I get if I put Mixon over sale? I would want a wide receiver upgrade and an RB in return. For sure. Yeah, so let's say hypothetically you put together, let's say you're putting together Flowers and Mixon, like that's going to be your package there, Frizz. If we're looking at like rest of season rankings, I would want to get up to at least a Justin Jefferson, a Jamar Chase, an Amon-Ra St. Brown for Mixon, kind of straight up. And then in regards to like trading away Flowers and that overall value, like for a running back, if you could get then like a Chase Brown, Tyrone Tracy, Brian Robinson Jr. as like the tier down, Frizz, that's kind of what I would like to do. So can I get one of those top tier wide receivers? And if not, then I'm just going to hold Mixon there. Appreciate you, Frizz. Kyle said, would you trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for Kupp and Pacheco full PPR? I would do that, especially if you need some running back depth. Now, I clearly have them a tier apart there, Kyle, but that's why you would be getting that extra Pacheco side. Now, the worry with Pacheco is like when he comes back, because if he's going to come back week 13, week 14, that might help you as we're kind of approaching the playoffs. Or, if they decide to push him back because Kareem Hunt's looking super good, then there's a chance, get him healthy for the playoffs. There's a chance that we might miss out on this window for Pacheco. So it is a little bit risky there, Kyle. I haven't gotten any clear reports on Isaiah Pacheco and that return, so I would definitely check Twitter before making that deal. But personally, I would want the Kupp and Pacheco side if we think we get some Pacheco back by like week 14. Seawolf said, sit 1, Allen, Darnold, or Purdy. This week I will be sitting Darnold there, Seawolves. Got some great options. I do have Josh Allen as a top 3 option, and then I have Brock Purdy as my QB4. So Darnold, I have him as my QB7, so it's not like you got terrible options there, Seawolves, but I would be sitting Darnold. Elma said, how the heck? He's probably playing in a Superflex league. Kyle said, this is really nasty, but if Nico isn't coming back, I'm looking at Quentin Johnston or Deontay Johnson. Ooh, like not knowing how many snaps Deontay Johnson is going to get this week, I think I have to tell you to lean Quentin Johnston this week here, Kyle. I would go with Quentin Johnston. Frizz said 14-man, 3 and 6, 5th in points for Murray, May, Olave, Zay, Smith, Leggett, Pop, Bijan, Mixon, Cam Akers. Yeah. Where should I upgrade? Is it time to get rid of Mixon / Bijan? No, bro. I understand you're in you're 3 and 6. You're 5th in points for, though. That's the thing. Like, you are just getting absolutely obliterated by every other team. You got 2 guys that are my top S tier running backs. And it looks like we just had some problems on your wide receiver and not having an elite level quarterback. Maybe could you pair Murray and May to go up and tier up? Like, I don't know, Frizz. Otten should help you. I think you're in a better spot. I'm worried that you're going to trade one of your 2 best players that are absolutely balling right now for fantasy football, and we're going to struggle. I know it's time to make moves. Depends on what you can get, though. Like, if you can go out and trade like Bijan or Mixon, Frizz, and you can get a Justin Jefferson, you can get a Jamar Chase, you can go get an Amon-Ra St. Brown, sure. I could see you doing this. But other than those players for one of those guys, but then if we trade one of those guys away, like, I would want you to do it so you're at least getting some type of running back depth back by trading away a Smith or a Zay. So just kind of depends on how you want to do that deal there, Frizz. But I would explore for sure. I would just flip it. I would try to get a better wide receiver, but also get a tier down at running back. Jesse B said, I'm 5 and 4. Running backs are Saquon, Chase Brown, Tracy. Wide receivers are AJ, Puka, Debo, Myers, Laporta. Any thoughts? Any trades I should make or hold and grind through? PPR, thanks. Yeah. So we're at that point in the season, Jesse. We don't have a terrible record. We've dealt with AJ and Puka injuries, Debo injuries for sure. So you're probably like, what the heck, Caleb? Like, your team is good, bro. We just got to get healthy. So personally for me, I'd just be holding this, Jesse, because we got Saquon, we got, the RB1 for me rest of season. We got AJ Brown, who's in the S tier. We got Puka, who's in my A tier. We got Debo, who's in my B tier. Like, we got to feel really great about this team. We got some options for tight ends. So personally, Jesse, I'd just be holding this side. Jelly of the month. Shout out to Jelly for being here. You said 3 wide receiver PPR league. We have my RB 5 and 6 are Charbonnet and Roshan. Drop 1 to pick up Ricky as wide receiver 5. My RB are Charbonnet and Roshan. Yeah, if I have to drop one of these guys, I will personally be dropping Charbonnet. I think I do have Roshan higher rest of the season, but it's close there, Jelly. So I don't think you can make a bad move. Honestly, the hardest thing, Jelly, that's going to come of this for you is the only way either of them are going to have any type of value is if KW9 or, of course, DeAndre Swift gets injured, which I can't necessarily predict right now, but I do want to hold on to Roshan. I think he has more overall value week in and week out. Charger said, road to 4K. Yeah, we're on the grind. We're on the grind there. New video tomorrow, new video on Friday, new video on Saturday. And we're going to be streaming Friday night. Champagne 7 said, Mike Gesicki or Sam Laporta this week. Champagne 7, I will be going with Mike Gesicki this week. PRF said, what do you do AJ Brown and Chase Brown for Rico? Would you do AJ Brown and Chase Brown for Rico Dowdle and Nico Collins? No, I would not do that, PRF. Might be chasing nothing with Nico. I just think that with no digs, he's going to get the same role as he did last year. I mean, PRF, he's been balling, bro. I'm not going to lie. He has been balling. But I think you're giving up the better running back. I have AJ Brown and Nico Collins in the same tier. So there's no reason for us to down tier at running back because we don't have to. And I could argue, like, I have AJ Brown ahead of Nico Collins. We could easily have Nico Collins ahead of AJ Brown. But even still, I still want the AJ Brown and Chase Brown side there, PRF. And I'm not worried about Khalil Herbert. Snoopy Gaming. So David Montgomery, Evan Ingram, and Pacheco for Marvin Harrison Jr., Jonathan Brooks. Anyways, what's up, man? Snoopy, always good to see you, bro. Personally, for me, I do want that David Montgomery, Evan Ingram side and Pacheco. Jonathan Brooks could be a league winner. I get it. I've been the one pushing the Jonathan Brooks train. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been struggling, so I think the Marvin Harrison Jr. versus David Montgomery, getting the win there. And then it's pretty much Jonathan Brooks, who unknown about, versus Pacheco and Evan Ingram. Give me the Evan Ingram and Pacheco side there. So give me David Montgomery, the side on the left there. Snoopy. Seawolves said, play Tua or pick up Rodgers, Goff, Stafford, Herbert, T-Law, Caleb Williams, or Flacco's on waivers. Where do I have Tua versus... It'd be Tua versus Stafford. I believe I have Stafford ahead. Yeah, I will be going with Stafford this week there, Seawolves. That's the quarterback I want to play this week. Kyle said, Tyreek Hill bust the year for like 3rd or 4th overall pick. Yeah, it's crazy. Which it always happens. Like every year there's bust in the first round. And really, can we blame Tyreek Hill? Like, not fully, but with Tua coming back, it hasn't even looked good for Tyreek Hill yet. So, hoping for better days for Tyreek Hill, but he definitely has been a bust. Zeb said, thoughts on trading DeAndre Hopkins and Tony Pollard for Marvin Harrison Jr. or Tank Dell and Josh Jacobs? My running backs are Saquon, Tony Pollard, Kareem Hunt, Zach Miles, and RR. Wide receivers are Puka, DK, Brian Thomas. Yeah, So I think if you can trade DeAndre Hopkins and Tony Pollard for Marvin Harrison Jr. and Josh Jacobs, that's the deal that I want to do. I don't want to be giving up Tony Pollard without getting a running back. So, but I do have Josh Jacobs, and like I have Josh Jacobs a tier ahead of Tony Pollard, but I do have DeAndre Hopkins ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. So personally, for me, Zeb, I probably just want to hold the Tony Pollard and DeAndre Hopkins side. We might be striking gold with DeAndre Hopkins late in the season, getting traded to KC. So I personally want the Tony Pollard and DeAndre Hopkins side there personally, Zeb. Appreciate you tuning in. And you said 12.5 PPR. Yeah, that doesn't change. I still want the Tony Pollard Hopkins side. Andrea said, hey, everyone. Brian Thomas Jr., London, Juwan Jennings need 1.5 PPR. And Andrea, we're always great to see you. Like I said, you help bring the energy to the channel, I gotta say. Really, it's between Drake London and it's going to be between Brian Thomas Jr. for me. I would personally be playing Drake London. He's been absolutely balling. Versus, now he is questionable, so monitor that. Versus New Orleans, they do not have Marshawn Lattimore anymore, so a little better matchup for him. So I would go with Drake London there, Andrea, if I were in your shoes. Mervin said, full PPR pick 2 to start. Dell, Johnson, or Cooper. Thank you. I will be going with Dell and Cooper there, Mervin. Appreciate you. Dynasty is life said, London owner keeps asking for Hawk in the 2 first. Yeah, no. That's way too pricey. Yep, I'm with you. Would you try getting Evans or Kincaid back if you sent Hawk? Sure. Yeah, if I get Kincaid back, I'd feel fine about it. Dynasty is my life. And then he said, or should I overlay for Flowers? Send Hawk in a first for Flowers. No, I would do the London deal. I don't like Hawk in a first for Flowers. Flowers is an interesting one for me. I mean, he does have fantasy, a ton of dynasty value, but with this addition of Deontay Johnson, I'm trying to figure out I feel like his overall dynasty value is a little bit fluctuating right now. So I prefer to get Drake London. I feel like it's a safer asset, assuming he stays healthy. Anthony said QB's Goff, Stafford, Brees, Walker, Bigsby, Mason, Pittman Jr., Kincaid, Laporta, Nico, Brooks, Thielen. Ooh, yeah. I don't know if so starters, we'll be going with Stafford this week. Anthony will be going with Brees, and we'll be going with Walker. And then wide receivers, which I always get wrong for you, I will be going with Mooney and Shakir. Tight end, I will be going with Laporta. And then hopefully we got Nico coming in to do on the flex. And then we'll just move Shakir to your flex. Levnoxia said, what situation do you prefer? Need one running back, Tampa Bay backfield or San Francisco? All are available except CNC. What situation do you prefer? Need one running back. Personally, if everyone's available, like, I don't want to start Jordan Mason this week with CMC back. I don't know where that overall upside is. So I would just lean with Bucky Irving there for the Tampa Bay backfield there. Levnoxious. Appreciate ya. Anthony said, I'm absolutely ready to drop Pittman Jr. for just about everyone off waivers. That's just where I'm at. Yeah, Michael Pittman Jr. has been absolute cheeks, so I'm with you. Snoopy said, oh my goodness, Snoopy, I'll answer this. And then Justin, shout out to the super chat. Appreciate you. Chiefs should go 60-40%. Pacheco favor when he gets back. Fables are hard to get back, especially since Hunt is 60. Yeah, I just say they just continue to rest Hunt. That's kind of been my opinion there. And then Justin, shout out to the super for $20, bro. $20. You are an absolute legend, bro. Thank you for that. Thanks for all the advice, bro. You're an absolute legend, bro. I can't thank you enough. You guys all pour into this community. Justin, you comment on almost every video. You like every video. Like I can't say enough, bro. You're gonna make me like tear up over here on a Wednesday night. But I appreciate you. Thanks for the 20. Definitely get reapplied into the channel in some way to help make this a better experience for everyone. So appreciate you, Justin. Let me know what questions I can answer for you. We got Froggy says, should I trade Mixon and Aaron Jones for Nico Collins? My running backs right now are Mixon, Gibbs, K9, and Aaron Jones. I think I'm overpaying, but I wanted to check. Should I trade Mixon and Aaron Jones for Nico Collins? Yeah, that's way overpaying, Froggy. You would need something pretty substantial back. I will not be doing that deal. Anthony said, I'm 5-4 and I don't have time or space on my roster. Allow someone like Pittman to stay there. Anthony made me laugh. Just feel like I started the year with a very solid team, but I've been watching my team crumble week after week. Yeah, injuries, upside, trades, like a lot of things just kind of start to impact your overall fantasy football roster week in and week out. So I feel that. Seawolves said 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. Connor, H-Chain, JT, Mixon, Collins, Adams, Lamb, or Cup. Yeah, so we'll go with the running backs. We'll go with Mixon and we'll go with Devon. And then wide receivers, we'll go with Lamb and Cup. And then for 2 flex, we'll assume Nico Collins is playing. I will go with Nico. And then I will go with JT. But if Nico is not going to play their C, I will be going with Connor. That's kind of the ranking there. Zeb said Mike Gesicki or Dalton Kincaid this week and rest of the season overall. Mike Gesicki both ways there. Zeb. Snoopy said, I will remember asking you questions when my starting lineup was Stroud, Hill, Monty, Nico, Jaden Reed, Rashid, and Evan Ingram. Lineup changed a lot now. Shout out to you. You've been grinding the trades, grinding the boards. We love to see it there, Snoopy. Sea Wolves said, start 2, Jennings, DJ Moore, McConkey, or London. London and McConkey here for me, Sea Wolves. Of course, PRF, anything I can ever do for you, you let me know. Diamonds said, do I start Flowers tomorrow with maybe Nico and London out this week? You have D-Hop, Tank Dell, and Ramondre to plug in as well. Yeah, I think you have to start Zay Flowers after what he did this last week. I have Zay Flowers as a top 12 wide receiver, so I would play him. And then we have options to back up in case you got other injuries. I'm with you there, Diamond X. Mike LB said, need help if AJ Brown is hurt this week. Who should I replace him with? Tolbert, Moore. I'm assuming, is this DJ Moore? Is it DJ Moore? Or is it David Moore? There's a lot of Moores. A little bit worried. Or if I'm thinking of a different Moore. Michael, I'm assuming it's DJ Moore. If it's DJ Moore, I'm playing DJ Moore. If it's not DJ Moore, Michael, you let me know, and we'll dive into this deeper. Andrea says, Mark Andrews or Mike Gesicki this week in full PPR. Andrea, I will be going with Mike Gesicki this week. Even though there is no Isaiah Likely for Mark Andrews, I still will be going with Mike Gesicki this week. Anthony said, one guy from my league wants Brees from me, but he has Josh Allen, Aaron Jones, Ramondre. Yes, absolute loaded team. And he's probably not giving you any good offers. So, Anthony, I wouldn't give him to him. Georgia said, if I can't get Jalen Hurts, the only QBs I have a chance to trade for are Rodgers, Jared Goff, or maybe Joe Burrow. Who should I target for the playoffs, and who would be a good value to trade away? Yeah, I mean, if you can't get Jalen Hurts, then I'm cool to go get Joe Burrow. I still have Joe Burrow as an S-tier quarterback rest of the season. Joe Burrow's been balling, and he might be a little bit cheaper for you, Gerger. And so what would be good value to trade away? Gerger, I don't know. Like, I've seen a bazillion of your teams. Are these all the same team? Or let me know what your teams look like, and I can answer this more. And I just saw Mike Hill said DJ Moore. I will be going with DJ Moore than Mike Hill. Yeah, personally, I would go for Joe Burrow. I think he's going to be a little bit better for you, Gerger. And then we got, let's go to these next questions. We got, where are we at? Diamond said, would you trade Zay Flowers and Pacheco for CeeDee Lamb? Yes, give me CeeDee Lamb. Diamonds. Anthony said, I know he's not letting go of Allen Jones or Justin Jefferson. Yeah, and he's just trying to get Brees Hall because that's ultimate level upside. Bocce said, would you trade Pitts and Sutton for Ingram and Downs? Yes, give me Ingram and Downs. Yes. I want Ingram and Downs for sure there, Bocce. Jared said, would you trade away CD and Dynasty, start up to 5 wide receivers for Nico and Puka? In Dynasty? Yeah, give me Nico and Puka there, Jared. That's a no-brainer for me. I think you're getting 2 elite level wide receivers for CeeDee Lamb. Maybe a slight tier down, but it's the smallest for 2 guys in the same tier. Jared, 100% go do that. Justin, huge, bro. Like I said, thank you so much for all the love. Brendan, probably pumping iron at the gym, said, Bowers is on bye. Should I feel comfortable starting Hawk, or do I pick someone else? I mean, you don't feel comfortable starting anybody because of the tight end landscape, but I feel like you still got to feel like, okay, you're rolling out Hawk out there this week. So I have TJ Hawkinson as a top 10 tight end, so unless you're getting like Mike Gesicki, who might be on waivers, Brendan, I don't prefer anybody else. Yeah, shout out to Justin F. for being absolutely a dub. Yeah, shout out to the dubs. We're going to give him a round of applause. Yeah, shout out, Justin. Appreciate you, bro. Walker is on bye. Were you testing me there? Were you testing me? And what was your team? Okay, yeah, I would be going with Bigsby. Bigsby as my RB2. Anthony, listen, bro. We're rolling through the questions. Like I said, I didn't even look at my rankings for that one because I just assumed Walker was playing. Clearly not. They're on bye. Yeah, boy said, thoughts on Chase Brown and Chuba this week and Red RPS. Yeah, gotta feel okay. I mean, I think a lot of people are worried, ya boy, about Chase Brown with the addition of Khalil Herbert. I'm not, because we got no Zach Moss. So I have Chase Brown as a top 15 running back this week. And then I have Chuba Hubbard as a top 15 running back for Chase Brown, top 20 running back for Chuba Hubbard. And then if we're looking at like rest of season, your boy, you should come back and tune into the video tomorrow. It's hard for me. I have Chuba Hubbard as not Chuba Hubbard. I have Chase Brown as my RB20 rest of the season. And then Chuba Hubbard's down as my RB29. Now the part with Chuba Hubbard that we need to understand is what's going to be happening with Jonathan Brooks. It's a big wild card. So could be looking great, could be pretty bad. So I personally, like if you had to choose between the two, I want Chase Brown. But that's kind of the outlook rest of the season. Froggy said, what about Mixon and Aaron Jones for Nico and Brees? Do you think the other side would accept? He might not accept, but I would want the Nico and Brees side there, Froggy, for sure if I was you. Iggy said, would you trade Neighbors for Puka and Downs? Yes, Iggy. If you need help at wide receiver, I would do that. Now, of course, if like Down won't be scratching your lineup, then potentially we hold on to Neighbors because I do have Neighbors in a tier above Puka, but I do think this is a very fair deal, Iggy. And if I needed some wide receiver depth, I would take the side on the right. Your boy said, what defense this week, Chiefs or Broncos? Well, I don't think you can, in your good conscience, start the Broncos versus the Chiefs. So I'll be going with the Chiefs as the defense I would start. Yeah, boy. Jason, bro, good to see you. You said, do you see Westbrook Akine as a sneaky flex wide receiver upside week 11 on? Yes, potentially with no DeAndre Hopkins, we could be looking at good old Westbrook Akine performing for fantasy football. Let me pull up my rest of season rankings just so you understand. I probably don't have him high enough, Jason. Right now, I have him sliding in rest of the season as my overall wide receiver 97. So he is down the board. Now, he did score 97% snap share, 6 targets, 5 receptions for 50 yards and had that total touchdown. Now, he has scored a touchdown in 4 straight weeks. So dude's been absolutely balling. So Jason, I hear you. Think there could be some worthiness of having him as a stash, but we shall see if he can keep it up. We got Brendan said flex full 1 PPR, Coleman, JMO, or Jordan Mason. I will be going with JMO this week, Brendan, because like I said, unless we know CMC is going to be like super limited, I don't feel confident rolling out Jordan Mason, and then I want JMO over Coleman. Anthony said Snoopy with the GOAT profile pic. Yeah, that's fire. Some freaking Calvin Johnson. Bocce said, yeah, I got it. Perfect. And then your boy said, need to drop one for a kicker this week. Who should I drop? Chiefs D, Broncos D, Mason, Dobbs, Coleman, Pop, Douglas. I personally would just drop the Broncos D, your boy, and hope you can pick them up next week. Because I don't like the matchup, of course, this week, but going forward, I do like their matchups. Anthony said, is Brees worthy of any of his options besides Allen, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson? I mean, not really. Like, I still have Brees Hall ahead of Aaron Jones, so I wouldn't trade him straight up for that. So, Anthony, I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing because I feel like I don't want to tell you to sell low, but I also know the desperate part that your team is in on your overall roster. So, depends. Just kind of depends. But I'd personally just hold Brees there unless he's willing to, like, help you tier up to, like, a Justin Jefferson or something like that. Joel said, pick one flex, Gesicki, Odunze, or Pittman. I will be going with Odunze there, Joel. Appreciate you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I don't know how I can suggest in a right mind like Michael Pittman Jr. after these last few weeks. It's been absolutely brutal. Brendan said, Russ or Kyler? You know I want to roll with my man, Mr. Unlimited, LOL. Brendan, I got Kyler higher this week, bro. I got Kyler higher this week, so I would personally be going with Kyler. But you do you. Like I said, you guys control your own fantasy football destinies half the time. I have just for rankings sake, I do have Kyler as my overall QB 15, and then I do have Russ as my QB 21. There, Brendan. Frizz says, should I pick up Russell and start him over Murray May now? I'm still starting Kyler over Murray May there, Frizz. Roland XP says, should I start Quentin Johnson or Josh Palmer over Shakir? I see the Chargers wide receivers going off this week. So I personally am still going to be leaning the Khalil Shakir side. I have Khalil Shakir as a top 24 wide receiver. I have Quentin Johnson sliding in my overall rankings as where's Quentin Johnson? As my wide receiver 38. So have them pretty significantly apart there, Roland, in full PPR. So personally, I would be going with Khalil Shakir over Quentin Johnson. but I understand kind of the sentiment and why you might feel that way. Justin, the absolute legend, bro. Like I said, we're giving you a DJ Airhorn, bro. Thanks for absolutely blowing the chat up with your super chat. You said Ingram or Ferguson this week. I will be going with Evan Ingram this week, Justin, for sure. Dynasty's Life said, hey, have a good night. Have a good night, bro. Andrea said Kyler Murray or Jaden Daniels. Andrea, I will be going with Jaden Daniels this week. It's not a great matchup versus Steelers at all. I understand, but I do have him. I got him pushed down to my QB 8 this week, and I do have Kyler Murray, like I said, at QB 15. So I personally lean with the Jaden Daniels over Kyler Murray side. Anthony said, so mad Gesicki was on waivers and I couldn't snag him. Bro, he's popped off. But, the moment that T. Higgins comes back, all of a sudden we're going to be looking at Mike Gesicki in not the same light. Seawolf said, start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Jones, A-Chain, Stevenson, JT, Lamb, St. Brown, or Chase. We will be going with 2 running backs. We'll go with JT and A-Chan. We will then be going with wide receivers. We'll go with Chase, St. Brown. I then will go with Lamb as one of my flex options, and then I will be going with Jones as my other flex option. So I will be sitting Stevenson there, Seawolves. Jackie said, I traded a 26 first, 2 seconds, and a 4th for James Cook, Jacoby, and Pop Douglas. Thoughts? I mean, it's a fair deal, Jackie. It is a fair deal if you're going for it. I will just say this, Jackie, and I think I've gotten to the point this season where I am not trading first for running backs. Unless it's like an absolutely elite level running back. And I don't currently have James Cook valued as an elite level running back in Dynasty. I think thinking that I can get young production at the running back position with those firsts, and then also taking shots like with my seconds to go get like high end, like, can I get an Alvin Kamara? Can I get a James Conner with that second? Like, that's kind of what I like a little bit more to be doing, at least to address my running back position. Now, I know you got Jacoby. I know you got Pop Douglas. It's a fair deal. It's a fair deal because Pop Douglas is worth a second. Jacoby Myers worth a second. James Cook's worth a second. I personally, I don't know your situation. I don't know if you're competing. I don't know. I would understand maybe you're pushing the chips in to go for a chip, Jackie. I personally want the pick side, but that's also just because I'm a pick hoarder, and then I kind of figure out what to do with the picks during the offseason. Frizz said, or try to trade away for a stud QB. Like, how horrible is the idea of Flowers and Smith for Hurts and some pennies? It's not the worst deal, but I couldn't tell you to do it, Frizz. I would just hold on to your current, and because you would just demolish your wide receiver room. Bocce said, sorry, I meant to put Pitts and Sutton for Ingram and Dubs. I will take I'll still do the Ingram and Dubs side. Yeah, the downs made it like super. I was like, oh, that's easy. But no, I would still go with the Ingram and Dubs side. Gerger said, wide receivers, Nico Collins, Jake London, Devontae Smith. Who should I offer for Burrow? Yeah, if I'm you, could you do like, if you could pair like a DJ Moore and like none of the running backs. So yeah, DJ Moore. Like, that's what I would try to do. DJ Moore for Joe Burrow. If he's not keen on that, then like I would just add like Xavier Legette and try to get it done that way. Gerger said, who should I offer for Goff if the Burrow owner doesn't want to sell? For Goff, yeah, you probably could do like an Xavier Legette, Keon Coleman type package there for Goff. Seawolf said Kelsey or Otton. This week I will be going with Kelsey. Both are great options though. I mean, Kate Otton, we've talked about the target share, the touchdowns, absolutely insane for Kate Otton. I do have Travis Kelce as my tight end 1 this week, but I do have Kate Otton as a top 4 tight end there, Seawolves. Tony, good to see you. You said, hey, Caleb, Tua or Stafford this week? I personally will be going with Stafford this week there, Tony. And then Fries, put the fries in the bag. Says, should I trade Henry for Adams and J.K. Dobbins? No. Fries, we want you to have the ultimate level upside. We want you to have the best players on your team. It's a fair deal, but I still lean the Derrick Henry side there majorly, Fries. Seawolf said McBride or a Henry. McBride or Henry, like Hunter Henry or Trey McBride? I'll go with Trey McBride there, Seawolves. Iggy said, you're my favorite channel. Very helpful. Appreciate you. Iggy, I just appreciate you always coming in, asking the questions. Like I said, guys, appreciate all the love y'all send me all the time. JB1300 said, Mike G or Trey McBride, week 10. I will be going with Trey McBride. Really need this win to get 5-5. Currently in 8th place out of 12 teams. With Cincinnati's matchup and wide receiver tight end injuries, would you play? Personally, I still go with Trey McBride. I have Trey McBride as a top 3 tight end. Now, Mike Gesicki is a top 8 tight ends for me, JB. So it's close-ish, but I still prefer Trey McBride over Mike Gesicki this week. Appreciate you. Your boy said team starting Darnold, HN, Chase Brown, Tyreek. I am 4-5 and 1 game back and making the playoffs. Should I trade Tyreek Hill for Devontae Smith and Tank Dell with my team above? So we do need some depth behind Devontae Adams. Now the issue that's going to rise, your boy, is I feel like if we do this deal, we're not going to have the upside that we do with a Tyreek Hill. So personally, especially with Mason going out, we need some spark. So your boy, I hate to say it, I think we're going to be living on a prayer here, hoping that Tyreek Hill can regain some magic. But yeah, I understand you feel like you're in a pickle, but personally, I would hold Tyreek Hill there. Froggy said, team right now is Hurts, Mixon, Jones, Jamar, Pickens, Gibbs, Vikings D, Austin Cyber, bench Broncos, K9. Any changes or trades? I low-key want a good wide receiver to pair with Jamar. Yeah, I mean, I would too. I think the issue, like we said, can you pair like a McConkey and a Pickens? Like I would hold Dell, honestly, with the situation, even if he is the wide receiver too, with no Stephon Diggs. So could you pair McConkey, which I think is going to net you more value, and Pickens to go trade up for, a top tier wide receiver? When I say top tier, like, could you go buy Nico Collins right now for that? Maybe not, probably not. You probably would be like batting, like we said, if you did McConkey and Pickens to get up into like a Scary Terry, a Drake London range there, Froggy. If you could get to a Malik Neighbors, that'd be dope too, but that's kind of my thought process with your team. And then Zeb said, I have Puka, Brian Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, and DK, Saquon, Tony Pollard, Kareem Hunt at RB. Should I sell any of my wide receivers to get a running back? Think about when Pacheco comes back, 0.5 PPR league again. Yeah. Honestly, dude, I'm probably holding. I think you got good enough running backs. Like, I know we're worried about, now I'm only going to have 2. I think the issue is like, I don't know which one to tell you to trade, Zeb, because we got Puka. We saw him come back, be healthy. We liked it. Brian Thomas Jr. is rookie, absolutely balling. DeAndre Hopkins could be the second coming of like Randy Moss with Patrick Mahomes and be an absolute fantasy football stud. And DK has been a fantasy football stud. So for me to tell you to trade one of these guys without having a full picture right now makes me a little bit worried. Now, if I had to trade one, I think I would lean DeAndre Hopkins, like if you could sell high on him. But I'm just worried that his value is going to increase week over week over week with playing with Patrick Mahomes, and we're just not going to regret it. And I don't want to tell you to trade DeAndre Hopkins for Isaiah Pacheco, because we don't know when Isaiah Pacheco is going to come back, Zeb, and if it's even going to help your fantasy football roster. So if you could trade DeAndre Hopkins and go see if you could get like a J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, I think this really helps your team out a whole lot there, Zeb. Kids with Steez said 4-5 was offered Lamb, Shakir, and Pacheco for my Wilson and BTJ. My other wide receivers are Evan McLaurin, Addison, J-Mo, and running backs are Gibbs. I was offered Lamb, Shakir, and Pacheco for my Wilson and BTJ. Yeah, dude. I'm not doing this. I'm holding the Wilson and BTJ side. I think we got Lamb as my wide receiver 5. We got Garrett Wilson sliding in as my wide receiver 8. We got BTJ sliding in as my wide receiver 10. So you're just going to be, I feel like you're giving up way too much to get Lamb, who we don't know how long Dak's going to be out, and that could affect his fantasy football value. So give me the Wilson and BTJ side there. JB113 said Mike G or McBride. JB, I will be going with Trey McBride. Your boy said pick 2 full PPR, Monty, Jennings, Mostert, Tolbert, McMillan. I will be going with Monty, and I'll be going with Juwan Jennings this week. Anthony says, the music stopped. Shout out to all y'all for sticking around when the music stops. So do you think Demarcus Robinson, Purcell, look is worth dropping for Pittman? Yeah, I would take I would do any of them, honestly, at this point. But I personally, I have it Leggett, Robinson, Purcell. That's how I have it ranked, Anthony. Dynasty 39 said, need to drop someone to make room for Nico, Pittman, or Geno. You have Darnold and have a good chance to add Stafford, Nix, Russ, Tour again after this week. I would drop. Yeah, I would just drop Pittman. I don't care about it. Dynasty 39. We could eat it. We can 100% eat our words with Michael Pittman Jr., but I do not have a lot of hope for him rest of season. Carson, good to see you. What's up? Hey, what's up, brother Carson? Always here. I love it. Thanks, Carson. Thanks. We'll be posting. We're streaming tonight, Carson. We will be posting a rest of season video tomorrow. We'll be doing a sleeper and breaker breakout video on Friday. We'll do a stash video on Saturday as well. So a lot of good content coming your way, Carson. Your boy says, should I drop Tolbert and or Juju for Noah Brown, Bateman, Parker Washington, Mike Williams? I think you could drop Juju at this point. I would drop him for Parker Washington if I were you. That's the one that I want there, your boy. Or Coker. I would actually do Coker. Coker's the one that I want, your boy. Ray Anthony says, Ray Davis, Jalen Warren, Benson on waivers as well. Anthony, I forget your question. No, I would go with Leggett, though. That's who I prefer. Tony said, Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt, J.K. Dobbins. Which two? So I start in a full PPR league. We'll be going with Gibbs, and we will be going with Taylor. It's with great pain that I tell you to sit Kareem Hunt after all that he's been doing. But I personally go with Jonathan Taylor this week over Kareem Hunt. Anthony says, do you think Bigsby still holds value with ETN staying on the team? Yeah, I think he does. I mean, not as much. I still have him as a top 30 running back rest of the season. He probably would have gotten pushed up to RB20 if there was no ETN. Frizz says, sorry I didn't catch that. Should I pick up Russell off waivers and plug and play? No, I don't. I would keep Murray. I have Murray and May over him this week, so Frizz, I wouldn't do it. Alan said, think about trading away Kyle Pitts and Kamani Vidal for TJ Hawkinson. I think that's if that's what you have to do to get TJ Hawkinson, sure. I mean, I have them in the same tier, Allen, Kyle Pitts, and TJ Hawkinson the rest of the season. Like I said, we still need to see TJ Hawkinson become TJ Hawkinson, but especially if Kamani Vidal is a bench beats and you prefer, I'm cool to do that deal. Iggy said, one more, Pollard, Downs, or Stevenson at flex this week? Thanks. We got to go with Pollard. Dude was absolutely on one last week, for sure. Allen said, already have Trey Benson, Roshan Brungas handcuffs on the bench. Oh, and Zach Sharps. Oh, cool. Yeah, if you got that much depth at running back, Allen. Yeah, I'm cool to do it for DJ Hawkinson. Of course, JB, thanks for tuning in. Allen, you're a legend. Soul said, Ingram or Pollard at flex? I will be going Soul with Pollard at your flex this week for sure. Seawolves said, have CMC, Stevenson, ETN, Mason drop one running back to stash Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Warren, Algier, Spears, or hold. If you have to drop one, no, I'm just gonna be holding all these guys. I think you can make the argument for Jonathan Brooks for a Mason, but like we said, we haven't seen Jonathan Brooks, and we don't know what that workload is gonna look like with Chuba Hubbard yet. So I would be monitoring it right now. I would say it's either Etienne or Mason for Brooks, but I wouldn't do it yet. Soul said, would you be concerned about CMC this week? Potentially. I'm not a doctor, and I also don't know what his snap share is going to be, so I would recommend Soul. We're going to be streaming on Friday. Hopefully we have a little bit better idea of his workload, what that's going to look like, so that we can give a little bit better analysis. The last Gremlin said, hey, dude, it's going good. Thanks for tuning in. You said a 1 in all 3 Malays I'm in, and 2 of them I came back with Kareem Hunt and K-Dot and with 21 points each. Let's go. Let's go, the last Gremlin. That's huge, bro. Congrats on the dub. Seawolf said start 2. Yeah, Mixon, A-Chain. Really, we need to do this. We need to just say sit 1. You wouldn't have to type out so much, but it's okay, Seawolves. I get it. So if I have to start 2, I will be starting. Did I already answer this, Seawolves? I feel like I already answered this. But I'll be starting Mixon and Devon. Then my wide receivers will be St. Brown and Cup. And then I'll flex out some Lamb, and then I'll flex out some Connor this week, Seawolves. And then we have Alan said, team right now is Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold. Boom. Let's go, Alan. I know. So you're definitely feeling like tight end's your weak spot. I get it, Alan. I get it. Diamond said 10-man PPR, Josh Allen, James Conner, Breeze. Need a 2-for-1 to make a space for Pacheco off IR. You said I could drop Braylon or Jared Goff for room as well. Yeah, I think we'd be cool to drop Jared Goff if we need to. Diamond, I forget what your question was in regards to a trade. We got so many questions flying up in here. I'm trying to remember if you had a trade question, Diamond. 10-man PPR. Need a 2. Oh, you're asking me for 2-for-1 ideas. These are always hard questions, Diamond, to answer because I don't know your league or your teams that are in your league. But me just off the cuff, if you could pair together like a D hop in this overall value. It's like increase with like a Tank Dell to go get an improved wide receiver, like someone in the range like a DK Metcalf type. I think that'd be pretty dope for you if you could do something like that. Of course, Carson, thanks for tuning in. Froggy said, I'm giving Pickens, Sutton, and Jacoby for Nick. I'm giving up yeah. They might not accept it, but I think that's a fair offer there, Froggy. So good for sending that away. Andrea, have a great night. Of course. Thanks for tuning in. Javier said, traded Swift and Reed for Debo. Team is now Purdy, JT, Bree, St. Brown, Cup, Laporta, Hunt, Marvin Harrison Jr., Pollard. Bro, let's go. Yeah, that's a complete team. That's a complete team. Yeah, good job, Javier. Oh, Andre's coming back on Friday. Let's go. Let's go. Jackie, oh my goodness. Freaking Alan comes in with the super chat. Appreciate you, my dude. Thanks so much for the 2. Absolute legend, bro. Thanks for, honestly, Alan, you've been, I will say this. You have been, there's so many people here, like the 19 people that are watching. So many of you guys have tuned in this whole season, been super like dedicated to your teams. It's absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of big things coming up for us as a channel and us as a community. And so I just thank you so much for all the support. Javier said, traded Swift and Reed. Yeah, that's great. Jackie said, I'm realizing that it wasn't the best deal, but I figured that my win now was a bet on the entire Buffalo's Bills offense. Yeah. Hey, Jackie, listen, I understand. Hey, I just give it how it is. But I also make trades that are not always the best for my own fantasy football team. So I'm not over here critiquing you at all. I just kind of tell you my own personal opinion, and I know that's why you asked. But I think you'll be fine. Lucas said, current running backs are Mason, Gibbs, Mixon, and Eckler. Wanted to trade Eckler and Waddle for Aaron Jones, seeing as CMC is on the way back. Think that's a decent trade. Yeah, I think that's a decent trade, and I would want Aaron Jones there, Lucas. Alan, bro, thanks for it, bro. USA, bro. Tony said, DJ Moore, Leggett this week. I will go with Leggett this week, Tony. That's how depressed I am with DJ Moore and this Bears offense. But shout out to Romo Dunze last week. Carson said, Caleb, should I move on from Chris Olave and Sam Laporta as like dead weight on my roster? Thank you. I think we got to wait on Chris Olave. I know we're worried about that overall concussion. I think Sam Laporta we could potentially debate. So, Carson, let me know what you're potentially looking on moving them on for, and I'll give you kind of my opinion if I would keep or hold. Green Screen Man, is Mason droppable? I wouldn't say he's droppable. I know we're worried about CMC coming back. So, yes, the overall upside of Jordan Mason, the starting Jordan Mason each and every week, that is gone. But Jordan Mason, if anything were to happen to CMC, we could look at Mason being instantly pushed back into a top 12 running back week in and week out. So having that on your bench with a guy like CMC who has never been able to stay really healthy throughout his entire career, I'm not dropping him. Like I said, Alan, thanks so much for the super chat. And then Seawolves said, thanks for the help. You have 4 teams, 3 with similar players. I got you, Seawolves. Well, you got a lot of loaded rosters, bro. So that's partially on me for asking you all of those questions. Jaime said, dude, good to see you, bro. You said my take a team somehow has picks for days on my 16 team league. You got the 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 6 with a 3-6 record. Somehow I'm still in the hunt for the playoffs. Look at you go, dude. Like I said, I wouldn't trade away those picks. I would just continue to rock it out and see if you can make any noise. And if not, then hey, glad you got a lot of picks. Glad you got a lot of picks. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Wait. ... Hey, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Like I said, guys, we are answering all start sit questions all season long. We answer all of our comments. So appreciate you guys for jumping in here to the community. Wait, appreciate you. You said, who do I start to pick a RB1, RB2, and a flex? CMC, Hall, Taylor, Kamara. Goodness, Wait. Goodness, what a squad. Honestly. That's like DJ Airhorn. Like, oh my gosh. Wait, I feel bad because we got too many options here. But we're gonna have to go off our rankings otherwise. So for RB1 here, I will personally, I think we gotta roll out Breece Hall and Alvin Kamara as our RB1 and RB2. And then it's between Taylor and Christian McCaffrey in the flex. I lean Christian McCaffrey. You might lean Taylor. But I would do Kamara and Hall for sure. And I understand, Wait, that Breece Hall has absolutely sucked. So I understand there is a boldness with me telling you to start Breece Hall here. So if you want to, I don't know how we're going to go wrong unless CMC, like we said, is on some serious snap count. So for me, I personally go, like I said, go with the Hall, Taylor, or Hall, CMC, Kamara. But if you want to add Taylor in their way, I think you got really great options. Zeb said, appreciate all the advice. If I could sell Hopkins or another one of my wide receivers, would you do it or still hold Saquon, Kareem, Pollard, running backs again? If I could sell Hopkins or another one of my wide receivers. Yeah, if you could do Hopkins and DK, I would be fine with it to go get a top running back. I think that could help you there, Zeb, for sure. Anthony said, Jonnu Smith, Taysom Hill, or Ertz on waivers. Am I crazy for considering to drop? No, I don't think you're crazy. I would do it for Taysom Hill, though. I would do it for Taysom Hill, but you are right. Laporta has been cheeks. And Zeb, appreciate you, bro. Thanks so much for finding the channel here tonight. Like I said, we stream. So typically, Zeb, just so you know, we stream every Wednesday night. Depending on if I'm not having things happening on the weekend, we typically stream on the weekend too. So we'll be streaming on Friday night. John, good to see you. Hey, is Xavier Worthy droppable? I think he is. So if you need, I don't love any of these options on the waivers. I think it has to be between Vidal and Khalil Herbert for upside there for you, John. But it's worth, like, Khalil Herbert on a short week, I do think you got to go there because I think he's going to get volume with Chase Brown. Chase Brown's never, like, hypothetically, even if Chase Brown has a 60% snap share, Khalil Herbert will probably get on at least 35 to 40% of the snaps. So I would go with Khalil Herbert. Frizzle said, part of me wants to try to trade Flowers and Smith to get CD or Nico, but CD or Nico don't play. I'm screwed. Yeah. Well, it's a risk you're gonna have to fight there, Frizz. But I would do that deal if I were you. Jaime said, who would you want to start at flex? Monty, QJ, Wandell, or Mari? Feels nasty, but I will be going, Jaime, with Monty. And you said, or should I say screw it and start Brooks, considering I'm tanking? I'm not starting Brooks this week, for sure. I don't feel comfortable telling anybody in my chat to start Brooks. I'm glad we have him because we all know, like, the upside that's there and that's presented. But until I start to see Brooks start to have any sort of value, I would just say I would start Monty there. And then Juan said, who would you drop off the bench for a defense? Wandell, Robinson, Jacoby Myers, Alexander Madison, Mayfield, Etienne are down. Still got DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson, and Mooney. Yeah, personally for me here, I would, it's going to be between Etienne and Alexander Madison. I have Alexander Madison as my least ranked player there, Juan. So I would probably just drop Alexander Madison. But the good chance is if you drop him, you're probably not going to get him back. But he wasn't really making a ton of sense on your roster. Upside-wise, like potentially in starting and hitting your lineup there, Juan. So I personally would just drop Alexander Madison for a defense, which stinks. But we do need defenses to help our fantasy football teams succeed. So like I said, guys, we haven't streamed as long tonight. It's only been an hour and 15 minutes, but your boy's tired. It was been a super long day. But I promise you, we're going to be dropping another video tomorrow. We're going to be dropping another, like I said, the next 3 days. I'll answer Diamond's question, then we'll get out of here. But I want you guys, like I said, I appreciate all the love and all the support that you guys are always providing. Tank Dell and D Hot for any of these guys, Puka, Aaron Jones, Malik. Yeah, I would do any of those trades. Personally, might be a little bit far-fetched on the David Montgomery one, just because, not far-fetched, but you might be losing that deal slightly, but we do know you need a running back diamond, so I'm cool to do that deal. And then Jaime said, yeah, Carolina was super cluster from Mount, and yes, that's what I would do with Monty there. So like I said, guys, appreciate all you guys for tuning in. I will, oh my goodness, Anthony, we're trying to end the stream, and here's RR edits. Shout out to RR. So 20 team full PPR, Jonathan Brooks or Taysom Hill flex. RR, I'll go with Taysom Hill. Think he'll get more volume this week with the buzzer beater question. Like I said, guys, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out if you haven't already. Putting out a video tomorrow. So have a great night. Hope you guys enjoyed the beginning of your week. It's been a great hump day, and we'll get back after it tomorrow for Thursday Night Football. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.